Okay, so it's time for us to get back into our coverage over the X-Men. And so we pick up with X-Men issue number 33. Now, with this issue alone, we're really focusing more on the idea of, well, the past between Gambit and Sabretooth, because in the earlier parts of our coverage over the X-Men, we had learned from Sabretooth that he knew Gambit very well. But the question was then, how? How in the world does he know Gambit? What happened between them in the past? And so, with this issue alone, we're going to learn about the actual past between these two characters. And so as we get into the opening pages for today's storyline, we do pick up in the past. And we pick up with a young Gambit, maybe around 17 years old. Now for Gambit, he's right now in Paris, and it does seem like he's just there for the heck of it, but in reality, he's there for a mission. Now, while out and about in Paris, he overhears a young lady screaming, and that'll be the character known as Genevieve. Now, this is her first and only appearance ever in Marvel Comics. But for Genevieve, she's a young lady right now who's being attacked by Sabretooth. Now, we do learn from Sabretooth that he was hired by somebody else to give back something that she has stole. But for Gambit right now, he realized that the young lady needs to be protected. And so this was the first time you had these two characters meet one another. Now for Sabretooth, he does back off very easily, but for a very good reason. But for Sabretooth, he also realized that Gambit is a mutant. Now, the reason why he backed off gets told to us in the present day to another character, and that would be Rogue. And so as we go into the present day, we get the idea that Rogue wants to know everything about Sabretooth, because in our last few videos, when it came to Rogue in the X-Men, they have been discovering that Gambit's past is a very mysterious past. But for Rogue, it's really more the idea that she's madly in love with the man. She wants to know everything about him because, again, she's madly in love with him. Now, for Rogue, she also wants to know why in the world Sabretooth allowed Gambit to get away. And you have Sabretooth say, because of the hunt. The dude loves to hunt down different people that he loves to target. But here's the big catch. He realized that for Gambit, he's a one-trick pony. And he'll always believe he has the upper hand. And that makes the whole hunt even more interesting. But for Gambit, once he realized if he no longer had the upper hand on Sabretooth, the hunt gets boring. And so for Sabretooth, he wanted Gambit to think that he always had the upper hand on Sabretooth. That is why he allowed Gambit to run away with Genevieve, but to also get her down the road. Now, for Sabretooth, he also realized that for Rogue, she's kind of jealous of him because you have Charles Xavier around this time trying to cure the mind of Sabretooth. Because Charles Xavier, he believes in the possibility that Sabretooth can be a good guy. But for Rogue, she also wishes that Charles did the same thing for her as well, to work on her mind, to hopefully find a way to help her control her powers. But either way, you have Rogue say, enough about me, now back to you. I want to know more about Gambit and you back in Paris. And so as we go back to the past once again, we get reminded that for Gambit, he was part of the Thieves Guild when it came to his younger days. But we see right now at this point in time that he's trying to prove that he should be part of the Thieves Guild, because we see him meeting up with his brother Henry. Now, for Gambit, he was adopted into the Thieves Guild. And so for Henry, he is his adoptive brother. But either way, they're still brothers. Now, for Gambit, his mission is to steal from Genevieve because, like I said earlier, she has stole a necklace from somebody else, and that would be Martin Herzog. Now, for Martin, this dude was cheating on his wife with Genevieve, and apparently he was going to leave his wife for her until she had stole from him. Now, for Gambit, we already know his game plan is to make her fall in love with him so that he'll then be able to get close enough to steal the pennant. Now, for Henry, he tells Gambit, dude, I am right now your sponsor. So if you fail, then I fail as well. You want to achieve this goal to join our crew, to join the Thieves Guild. And so over time, you had Gambit be that sweet guy to Genevieve, where he was trying to get close to her, to make her fall in love with him. And so while he's out there showing her that he's also a thief, but also somebody that she can supposedly trust, you also have Sabretooth watching over Gambit. And for Sabretooth, he realized that for Gambit, he has complete control over his powers. But on top of that, he now fully understands what kind of guy Gambit is. And now he knows how to attack the kid, but to also finish the job as well. But we kind of find out who had hired Sabretooth. And so we learned that it was Martin. The guy that Genevieve had stole from was the person who hired Sabretooth to go after her. And so, of course, he's trying his best to hopefully finish the job. And so as we transition over to Gambit, we see him being able to get close to Genevieve, to build that bond, to make her fall in love with him. And so she really thought that she has somebody in her corner, except when she wakes up, Gambit is gone. And matter of fact, he stole the necklace back. Now, right after she realized that one, he's gone, and two, he has stole the necklace from her, we also kind of find out that Sabretooth found out where she lived. And so right now, it's him grabbing her as a way to get to Gambit. And so by the time you have Gambit get back to his apartment that he shared with his brother Henry, he realized that Henry has also been kidnapped by Sabretooth. Now you have Sabretooth leave a message behind for Gambit to find. And so now for Gambit, he has to find Sabretooth to find Henry, but to also find Genevieve. But now we have to get into the messed up part, because once you have Gambit being able to find Sabretooth, we kind of find out he's holding a rope that's holding on to Genevieve and also Henry. But you have Sabretooth say, listen very carefully. I want the necklace back, but once you give it to me, I am going to let go of this rope. And you have to choose which person to save here. You can say your brother Henry or Genevieve. The thing is, either way, one of them is going to fall to their death. And so you do have Gambit go ahead and hand over the necklace, but he does choose to save his brother Henry, because his brother was part of the Thieves Guild, a crew that he was trying to join. But the problem is, Genevieve was not saved. She fell to her death, and so she dies. And really, you have her tell Gambit with her final breath that she loved him so much that if he had just asked for the necklace, then most likely she would have given it to him. And so as we jump back over to the present day, you have Rogue just outside trying to get some fresh air, but you didn't have Gambit arrive. Now for Gambit, he knows that she had talked to Sabretooth. And so he's trying to prove to her that he's not the same guy as he was back then, that she has nothing to worry about, that he's not going to break her heart. But for Rogue, that is the problem, because she does not fully understand Gambit. She does not fully know him at all. And so right now is her saying, I'm madly in love with you, but I'm scared I'm going to get hurt by you. But it's Gambit saying, help me to help you. Help me discover what kind of man I am now so that I can be there for you. But as we jump back over to Sabretooth, we pick up with Beast talking to Sabretooth. And really, it's more of Sabretooth finding out that Beast needs him for a special kind of mission. And unfortunately, that mission might be in our next video or down the road. But this is where we're going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see you on the next comic book video. Later.